In today's video, we're going to talk about Mouth of Sauron. I'm going to show you how to make him an absolute beast so you can break everything you fight outside of a few odd and indifferent builds, but for the most part, you're going to just wreak havoc and make people mad, so stick around. Let's get it. Welcome back to CO Gaming, and man, is it a great day today. We're going to talk about Mouth of Sauron. I'm going to give you an excellent build brought to you by Sir Dragonlist himself. He provided the majority of the screenshots and stuff that I will show you in this video, but let's just jump right into this. So we will start off by saying that Mouth of Sauron is now a beast. He is completely a part of the meta now, just about beating most things outside of a few random builds. But without further ado, we'll just kind of jump right in, show you exactly how to trait this guy real quick. So first and foremost, I don't really know if there's a particular order you really have to do this in, but for video's sake, we'll kind of just start off of how I guess I would do it. Orcs are going to be your primary. You're not going to be running trolls at all. We've seen a few people that do run trolls, but I wouldn't recommend it personally. But so we're going to start off. We're going to put our 15 points into this, and I am a little shy on points at the moment because I didn't actually use him in my current season. That's about the end. But we're going to throw our 15 points in here, and then we're going to max out both of the side trees, which is Orcish Warlord, Orc Speed, +2, damage received. Always good to have. So we're going to put our 7 there. And then we're going to go into Dishearten. It's going to decrease enemy units for damage that they deal. So we're going to go ahead and put the 7 into that. Once you have that step done, as you're leveling up, or if you're already 50 and you're revamping, we're going to go down here and we're going to put our points into Harbinger of Darkness. We're going to go ahead and just slap the 15 in here. At that point, you are going to put 7 points into the lower tree, which is Enfeeble, which is the Madness. Put your 7 points there, and this is where I currently run out of points. But with points that you have left, and you will have a few left if you're lower respect, higher respects, I have more. But from this point, what you are going to do is you're going to put 1 point into Master of Mischief. And then after you put that point into Master of Mischief, you start to go into your Black Numenera tree. Once you are in this tree, you're going to put 10 points into this, put 5 points into Dark Mantle, and then slap 1 point, at least 1 point into Black Arts. That's pretty much the build. Of course, if you're super high respect, I'm pretty sure that Dragonlist, in the way he builds this, is respect 13 or 14-ish. So that's what that particular point setup will be. The higher respect, you'll just kind of continue to go through, your top R0 tree there, and just make sure you cap out, BN, and then go into Black Mantle and cap it out. With points, if you do manage to have points after that, which you can have a few more, you can pretty much just either put the rest of the points in Black Arts, or you could go down and back into the bottom tree and go ahead and cap out this tree, Master of Mischief. Personally, I think I would probably go into Master of Mischief a little more and just put whatever points I had left over there, and then for some reason, if there was more, go into the top. I don't know the exact skill point count for R25s, if that's where you would be at, but for the most part, that's pretty much the build. Just your 15, 7, 7, 15 here, 7 here, put your 1 point here, 10, 5, 1. That is the build that Dragonlist is absolutely smashing people with. He is wreaking havoc. As far as gear goes, pretty much the gear that you're going to want to run is you're going to want to use if this is kind of, I guess you can say, a semi-welled out type of build, but we'll kind of cover both bases. So if you're just doing purples, let's just say that's all you have, then of course you're just going to run your cutlass with melee might. That's going to give you the plus attack and more attack damage for your melee units. Everything you're going to run is, melee units, so you're pretty good to go. As far as the chest piece goes, according to what you're fighting is going to be kind of the big thing with this, but high recommendation, since we do fight so many Witch Kings nowadays, is to just run a superior hauberk with fire protection. If for some reason you don't have that, or you're on a server that there's just not a whole bunch of Witch Kings to contend with, you can just go to the old-fashioned scale mail with melee vigor, or you can do scale mail with guard. I've been doing a lot of testing here lately, and that is actually working out pretty well. So either one of them is good. It's pretty close either way. As far as your helmet goes, you can do the I would recommend running Bone Mask with Manipulate. That is exactly what Dragonless runs, so that's what I would recommend. If you want to do something else, if you wanted to say do Bone Mask with Hysteria on it, that would work too, but Manipulate seems to be the best option there. And then as far as the accessory goes, that one's kind of up in the air, I believe, but I don't really think there's a bad option. For purples, I guess I would probably run the Drums of Moria. For one, you still get the plus attack. That would probably be your best bet. And then of course, Taste of Soldiers as your sub. That's what I would run. As far as golds go, there is a very wide things you can do here. Palantir with Tactical Market, of course, is going to be good. Palantir with Melee Might is going to be good. It still gives you the plus attack once you have it fully maxed out. As far as helmets go, of course, you could run, I don't know, say Aegis or something like that with a casque. As far as gold items go, your chest piece, Ranger Shroud would be good with resistance. I don't really know if you would actually want to do that because it gives you ranged attack, so that would probably be kind of a bust. You could, of course, do a Warborn Battle Plate. Personally, depending on what you're on, I would stick with the superior hauberk for the fire protection. But, like I said, server, no Witch Kings, or people just not playing Witch Kings, Warborn Battle Plate would be great with Fortitude Soldiers. And then, of course, the weapon, you're going to want to run the Giga Hammer with Rend. That's what you're going to want to do, just the way that goes. That pretty much covers the gear part of it. Nothing insane. This build can be really good, welled out, and it can also be really good with just purples. So it kind of fits a wide range of things that you can do, a wide range of players. You got Dolphins, you got Wells, and then, if you've been playing free to play long enough, you could truly do this build with just free to play. So, in theory, that works too. So we're going to kind of get into showing some reports. And then I will show you the build of like troop layout kind of afterwards. There's few different ways you can do this depending on what campaign you're in. But we'll jump right into some reports. So the first report shows you that we all know at this point that Sunit is completely broken. I will be doing a video on her here pretty soon, but she is broken. She is a beast. Might, quote unquote, be the best commander in the game at the moment. She's broken. But as you can tell here, both of these were completely full, and this is one of those builds that you can do with Mouth of Sauron if you're in the right campaign, which you run the War Drummers. As you can tell, I mean, there's no questioning the ability of Mouth of Sauron when you are beating Sunid straight up in a heads-up fight. I mean, it's close. Like, it was a really good fight. It's close, but Mouth of Sauron wins. This is the actual gear for that Mouth of Sunid, so clearly not fighting a slouch. Then we will jump into the next one, which is Mouth of Sauron beating another Sunid. This was actually not a full Mouth of Sauron in this hit, and still pretty much won this fight. I think, technically, if you go by health numbers, he lost this fight. But, like I said, 212k to 286k, and it's pretty even Stevens across the board. So I think that this draw goes through. He probably actually wins this fight in the long run. One, I say this because there's no Arbalest left. So, and then we're going to get into kind of the bread and butter of this build, and where this build originated from is simply to fight gills. There was several seasons there in a row that it was gill after gill after gill after gill. So we had to find some way to fight gills. Never thought it would be with the Mouth of Sauron, but it works. As you can tell, this is another one of those war drummers. This is probably, if you're in the right campaign or campaigns at this point, war drummers are definitely going to be your way to go. And then here's another gill fight. This one is more recent. They're in a season currently with no war drummers, and he's actually started running this build with, the Reapers, Guardians, and Crushers. This actually isn't a straight up fight either. He's actually been hit once before this, and as you can tell, once again, wax that gill, no problem. Then here's another gill fight. This is pretty much the same case, to where it's not a straight up fight. More than one hit on the Mouth of Sauron, but still manages to pull off that W. Then we're going to jump into this. This kind of goes back to another season with war drummers. And man, I tell you, put war drummers on this dude, it's just broken. Like, they do so much for this build, but it can be played without war drummers, and he proves it over and over again. And then this is your good old balling build that everybody's coming up with, because everybody wants to be ballers. I got nothing. Probably a guy that you won't see me do for a pretty good while. I'm just not a balling fan. But pretty straight up what that balling build is supposed to be. And it's a really close fight, but ultimately still kind of edges him out in the draw. And then this Radagast build with heavy Reapers and some Trolls. Yeah, no problem. Shut that down pretty quick. And then a Isildur that is pretty good. Absolutely no problem with this fight either. So, overall, this is an absolute beast. Like, I mean, there's absolutely nothing else you can say about it. It's beating everything. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does lose fights. You're always going to lose fights, just the way it goes. Can't help that. But, absolute beast of a build. Definitely a part of the meta. Anybody that says Mouth of Sauron is not a part of the meta is completely wrong. And it's only because they've been beat by it over and over that they don't want to include it as a part of the meta. And they're wrong. And I will say that on record. Just not the way that goes. But for the most part, the troops that he is running, we'll drag my Discord over here real quick so we can show you this. But this is pretty much the primary troops that's being ran. Is the 45, when you have the war drummers, is the 4,500 Reapers, 15 and 15. You actually can adjust this a little bit. Take this down to your Crushers down to 1,000 and bump your war drummers up to 2,000. I think he highly recommended that. It seems like it started working towards the end of their season a little better. But overall, either way, it works flat out. Absolutely no problems. But, like, it's just a crazy build. Like, you can't go wrong with that build. It's one of those that you can play with purples, with golds. You don't necessarily have to have crazy high respect for it to be really good. Like, it's just an overall good build. Mouth of Sauron, Meta Man. Who would have thought? Like, I spent so many seasons just not worried about Mouth of Sauron personally that now I'm trying to catch up just to get him to 12, 13-ish to really get to that point to where I feel like he's usable for me. Just kind of one of those personal preference type things. But yeah, it's nuts. But that is the Mouth of Sauron build. Nothing more to say. I think the picture's in the pudding, right? So as always, subscribe to the channel. Feel free to join my Discord. The link will be in the description. It's all kind of fun things there. Join the community. Until next time, CO out.